loves! So welcome back to episode 26 of Fatal Female Friday. In today's case, we're going to be talking about a case from Kansas City. And while the boy is commonly known as the boy who was fed to pig, his actual name was Adrian Jones. So yeah, let's just go and get started. So Adrian Alexander Jones was born on May 15, 2005. He was currently living at the time with his biological mother, Dana Pierce, and his father, Michael Jones, of which he was the youngest of all the children. It is said that at one point Michael had actually left Lawrence, Kansas to go to Topeka, continue his relationship with basically his side chick, Heather Jones. And so of course because of this, Michael breaks up with Dana over text, so he can now go be with Heather.
Emotional damage!
This was obviously a shock to Dana because, Michael was actually paying for her nursing career, so now they're over. He also was going to be paying for it. And then apparently she was actually pregnant with one of his children, Bella. So, of course, she became depressed and, of course, went out every night and then left the oldest child in charge of all the younger kids. And then apparently she was in Lawrence, Kansas, and she was staying with a friend who already had the apartment furnished and everything, but for some reason she wasn't grateful despite basically having a free place to stay. And then she ended up getting a boyfriend, and then she ended up getting dumped by the boyfriend, who apparently he was bringing the income of the household. Dana was allegedly said to have actually have a new boyfriend every month. At one point, it got so bad to where it's said that they all actually had to stay in a homeless shelter, and Adrian, Madison, and another one of the daughters had to stay in one room, and then her and Bella had to stay in the other room. Due to the homeless shelter being, of course, a free place to stay, she felt that she didn't have to look for a job. But of course, the oldest child at that time, I guess she was old enough to work, so she was like, you know what? I guess I gotta go work then. She eventually did find a guy, and apparently they got an apartment together. And so they ended up being together until the guy apparently started being physically abusive to her. And then her maternal grandmother found out. So then, of course, she calls SRS, and apparently the kids are taken away. It is at this point that Michael said that he actually wanted custody of the kids.
Bitch! The dog.
And so, because apparently this is a state where, grandparents apparently don't have a right, and he was the biological father, he did end up getting custody of Adrian. So while Adrian was living with his father, and I guess his new stepmom, Heather, apparently there were 6 other kids, and all of them were girls.
Damn!
Only 3 months in of Adrian living with his father, there were reports that Adrian was actually eating out of the trash, and that his father had guns openly out in the living room, and that Heather was always high on illegal substances. In December of 2011, one of the other children had actually been taken to the hospital, and Heather and Michael decided to blame it on Adrian, despite Adrian only being 3 years old at the time.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying.
Head trauma and eternal bleeding.
If 2 plus 2 is 4, right? And 5 plus 5 is 10, okay. What the fuck is this? I didn't see.
However, despite the serious accusation, Adrian actually had a black eye, and when asked about it, he had told that his father was the reason behind that black eye. He'd been hit with a closed fist.
Coincidence? I think not!
And so then police apparently had confirmed that it did in fact look like it, but for somehow he was deemed safe and he was not removed from the household.
What? What the fuck?
One of the other children apparently had actually told the teacher that they would be choked as punishment if they didn't even flush the toilet. Which apparently was the same night that Adrian had died. Sorry, it's the night they thought Adrian had died. Heather was said to actually be banned from being around the kids, but apparently got back with Michael 5 months later, breaking the safety plan. In 2012, Michael apparently has suggested to the state of Kansas that the children actually be homeschooled, and that the little homeschool he was going to conduct was called the Jones Academy.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Of course, eventually they find out that there are after reports out on them, and so they pack up all their stuff and move to Missouri. But before they do, they tell the workers that Adrian actually stole food and wet the bed. Of course, this also caused more calls come in. In 2013, Adrian apparently had told an officer that his father had kicked him and that Heather had actually, pinched his ears and left him in a room locked with no food. Despite him literally claiming that he was in fact being abused, nothing was ever done due to lack of physical evidence.
Bullshit.
The grandmother and the mother tried to get him back, but of course the mom, she couldn't get her kids back because they had already been taken away from her. And so obviously the grandmother kept fighting, but apparently this is around a time where grandparents didn't have custody rights to the grandkids. Apparently Heather was in a Facebook group where she even mentioned that she was considering feeding him to the pigs and apparently planned on killing him in a scene similar to The Walking Dead where this girl was killed by an older woman, but she was told to look at the flowers before she eventually got killed. And this was before Adrian's death. And then of course Heather would occasionally actually send pictures to Michael about what she was doing to Adrian. At one point, it got set up to where social workers were making occasional visits to the home. And at one visit, Adrian actually said that he had to eat food out of the trash due to being denied access to food. The couple, of course, would soon tell the workers that they were moving, once again, and that Adrian, for some reason, didn't need to be checked anymore. In 2014, Adrian was actually diagnosed with PTSD and put into a treatment center because of this. However, within a week of being put into the treatment center, apparently he was put back into the custody of Michael and Heather under the condition that he would get regular follow-ups and he would be enrolled into public school, of which neither happened.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I didn't mention this, but in Adrian's final days, he was actually boarded up in a shower that Heather apparently had built up herself. And I guess there was a separate bathroom, so everybody that needed to take a shower, they went to the other one while he was boarded up in this one. So Adrian had unfortunately died on what is believed to be September 28th, 2015, alone in the shower. His body was left there for about 2 weeks. Michael apparently had went and bought some pigs, which is where, the boy that was fed the pigs comes in. He intentionally starved them, so, they would be hungry, so they would be picking what they eat. And then they ended up giving the remains of Adrian to the pigs.
I am disgusted.
On Christmas Day 2015, Heather had apparently called the police to let her know that Michael had actually hit her and apparently tried to shoot her.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Michael was eventually found apparently down the street from the house, but not before firing a few shots in the air. When the police had actually searched the house, they found bullet holes inside the walls, rat poison, dead mice, syringes, and hardcore X-rated magazines and videos.
I am disgusted.
Adrian at this point is also deemed missing because none of the extended family had seen him in months. Also, Michael apparently had made a Google search on tasteless, odorless poison and actually admitted to trying to admit that to Heather.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Heather apparently had claimed that on Christmas, the year before, so 2014, apparently she had gave Michael a plate, and apparently she had got her teeth knocked out as a result.
Damn!
Michael, of course, provided paperwork, because apparently that was a lie, and as to why they were actually removed. Of course, they asked her again, and apparently she had gave a different reason from what she originally said.
Gotcha, bitch!
Heather had apparently contacted her landlord saying, hey, can you go on my iCloud account and get pictures off my iCloud account so I could look at pictures of the kids? And so, of course, the landlord also, was like, yeah, of course I can do that. So, she gets Heather's password and everything, and she goes in. Apparently there was a file that she had an iCloud account just for Adrian. It was just this, its own special file for what she was doing to Adrian.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Apparently, this is said to be how the remains of Adrian were actually found. Heather, of course, claimed that Michael did it and that she was innocent of all of it.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop your fucking lying.
She also said that apparently he was going to kill her too, and that she was scared, and she was actually sorry about what happened to Adrian.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
When Heather was obviously asked, like, what was the reason behind the murder, Heather had claimed that apparently she had a biological son, who Adrian had apparently lied to the police, and the son ended up getting taken away, but there's literally no information found regarding the son. They both, of course, had charges of first-degree murder, to which they both pleaded guilty to get life in prison without possibility of parole for 25 years. Instead of, like, life in prison with, like, no parole, it's better just to get out in, like, 25 years. And so, apparently, Michael, at one point, actually withdrew his guilty plea to go to trial to try to see if he can get a lighter sentence. And then, apparently, one of the older daughters of Michael apparently had said that she didn't believe that her father was capable of murder.
Bitch. The doll.
It was later revealed that there was actually another male living there at the time named Willie B. Flowers, who apparently was like a great uncle, but he never got charged or anything because they could not prove that he was part of the abuse. It was not illegal at the time to not say anything if you suspect that a child is being abused, unless you were like a teacher or, you know, the type of profession where you legally have to say something. And so the family would, of course, end up suing the state of Kansas for like $25 million. Unfortunately, I cannot find on whether or not they actually won the case or even got a piece of the amount that they had asked for. But 6 years later, so apparently like 2021, which was last year at the time that I'm recording this, Adrian's law had finally been passed. And so that basically meant that if you didn't report a child being abused, you were just as guilty as the one who was inflicting the abuse on the child. And you could criminally get charged. Finally, so I guess, back to 2019, Missouri had finally made a law saying to where it was easier to track families who moved across state lines that were trying to avoid child welfare cases. And Judy, which is Adrian's maternal grandmother, so I guess his mom's mom, she is currently contributing back to organizations that help prevent child abuse deaths and, of course, child abuse just in general. And so, of course, that was a very tragic case of Adrian Jones. And so while he was known as the media as a boy fed to pigs, of course, you know, remember his name, remember his story, share the story so we can prevent these future child abuse cases. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So I hope I will see you fatal females with the next one.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test, I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the